Hello, everyone, and welcome to whatever this is. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I kind of roughly know what I want to talk about, but I don't know how we're gonna go through this whole video. But all I know is I've been wanting to do long form content for a while. And when I say long form, I mean sit down here and just talk to you guys directly to the camera because that's what I see. I consume, digest a lot of long form content like that. I watch Jake Shane. I think he's so funny. That's not at all like an informative, educational podcast, but it's so funny and he has the same sense of humor as I do. Alex Earl does it. She tells a lot of her stories about her life on her podcast. Who else does this? Emma Chamberlain. Yeah, her podcast is similar to this. And I've been wanting to do that because I feel like if there's anything that I do have, it's a lot to say. And I'd like to pretend and believe that a lot of you guys would like to hear what I have to say. I told you guys I was going to be more consistent with YouTube, and I meant it. So welcome to whatever this is. So for any of you new viewers, hi, my name is Sherry, and welcome to my channel. So today is the 25th of September. That means my birthday is less than a week away. It's either 5 days or 6 days away, depending on whether September has a 31st. Yeah, so today is oh my gosh, this is so kelangkabut already. Today is the 25th of September. My birthday is on the 1st of October. So it's less than a week away. And every year without fail, I will get pre-birthday depression. That is something that happens every single few weeks before my birthday. I always get really sad and I overthink a lot. I feel like everybody goes through pre-birthday depression. I don't know if everybody goes through it, but everyone that I talk to, we kind of go through the same thing because I don't really understand why I get this way. I just know that I'm not the only person who goes through this because everybody that I ask, if they get sad before their birthday, the answer is almost always yes. And I've thought about it. I've sat with it. I kind of figured out roughly where mine comes from, the anxiety that comes from it. And so I'm going to break this down with you guys, and you guys are going to listen to me rationalize this because this is honestly what I do every day is overthink, sit down, rationalize it, kind of psychoanalyze every aspect of my life and the people in it. And yeah, this is what I'm going to do. So you guys are going to have to sit here and listen to me do this. My birthday is on the 1st of October. Okay. And every year, I believe that September is a very important month to me. And I think that everybody has 1 month in a year where that month is the month of transformation. A lot of shit will happen to you in this one specific month. Some people it's August, some people it's March. For me, it's September. Every September that comes around, something always happens. My life will go to shit. And everything, random things will happen that I didn't expect to happen. Challenges will come up. Basically, I will be tested. My patience, my faith, everything. Okay, I don't know if I'm doing a good job at describing this, but basically, I believe that everybody has 1 month in a year where in that month, things will happen. A lot of change will happen. And it's for your own good. But before the good comes, you're going to be challenged. And it's always a lot of change. I'm someone who struggles with change. It makes me really uncomfortable. I get very depressed. I like to just know what to expect sometimes. And I'm someone who gets a decision paralysis. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but basically when it comes to making decisions, I just can't. It's so hard. It doesn't help that I'm a Libra as well because Libras are known for being really indecisive. So after watching all the Marvel movies and them introducing the multiverse, it's made my overthinking go crazy because now I'm thinking about the multiple versions of me in alternate realities. What would have happened if I chose this thing instead? What would my life have looked like if I made that decision instead? So these are the things that go through my mind when I make decisions, and honestly, it paralyzes me because I'm just thinking will I regret this or not? I don't know how I got here, but basically every September in every year, things will always happen where it changes my life. There's always just like a before that happens and an after that happens. And the first September where I noticed this was probably the worst September I've ever experienced of my life. I think I was 21 or 20. And basically in that September, I remember, I think it was 10th September or 9th. I remember this because I got cheated on. Probably not the first time that this person cheated on me, but it was when I found out. And this was my first relationship. So I remember the way I felt when I got cheated on. It felt like my soul left my body and life wasn't real. And it felt like after that, for a long time, I didn't register life as a real thing. I think I felt like I was in a simulation. Everything was hazy. I wasn't thinking straight. And given this was a horrible relationship, there were a lot of like elements that made this not a typical breakup. There were a lot of like elements that made it psychologically more difficult for me to process. And I just remember like being so broken and lost. And I mean, obviously now I'm 27 years old. Like I've gone through enough life to like look back and be like, oh my God, I was a child. Like I can't believe that I thought my life was over at 20. Obviously now I can say that it wasn't a big deal, but at 21 years old, I really thought my life was over. I thought like I was going to die. And that was like the worst version of me that ever existed. Like that was the lowest point of my life. And it doesn't help that September is right before October and my birthday is on October 1st. So also adding on to the fact that my menstrual cycle always starts at the end of the month. So I'm just going through shit. Like every September I'm spiraling. And then adding on, I'm going through my menstrual cycle. I am like hormonal and unstable. And then it's my birthday. And I think birthdays, why I feel like it's a big deal for me is, I don't know, okay, I think it's a big deal. I'm definitely someone who makes birthdays a big deal. I've celebrated every single birthday. My parents used to throw me birthday parties when I was young. Like, so I've always been a birthday girl. And I don't know, like, you know, I'm not going to pretend I don't enjoy it. I remember I was talking to one of my friends. She has the same birth date as me. And she was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing this year for your birthday? And I was like, oh, I'm da-da-da. What are you doing? She's like, oh, I don't know. Isn't it just like a normal day? And I was like, no, it's not. It's your birthday. And she was like, yeah, but it's like nothing that special. And she's like, what? So why do you care so much about your birthday? And I'm like, look, maybe it's a normal day for other people, but it's the one day in a year where it's conventionally accepted, is it the word, like where it's appropriate for me to make it all about myself. So obviously that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm not shy to admit it. I love attention, and any given chance you're gonna make it about me, I will take it. So yeah, birthdays are a big deal for me. Back to what I was saying, I don't know why I keep going off tangent, but I feel like birthdays are important because it's the one benchmark in a year where you can sit there and evaluate yourself. I'm a big reflection girl. I really like reflect a lot. And I feel like that happens intensely around my birthday. Like birthdays are when it gets really like intense. And I grew up with a Virgo mom. And if you guys know Virgos, if you guys were raised by a Virgo, you know like criticism and critique and analyzing you is like their number one favorite thing. So my mom would always evaluate like our performance. Like resting isn't accepted. You're not allowed to rest. Like you're always meant to do better, get better, and evolve. So much I'm very like highly critical of myself, and when my birthday comes along, I will just kind of compare it from this year to last year, like how different, how much have I done, how much have I progressed. And I think a lot of it is also expectation. When I was younger, I think I set an expectation of like what my life would look like in my 20s. And I would say everything about my life today, you couldn't have predicted. Like, what is my job? I work online. I post pictures of myself and I get paid for it. I post videos of myself and I get paid for it. How do you describe that to a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old that was born in the era where social media didn't really exist? Like my job didn't exist 5 years ago, so none of this, I couldn't have predicted any of it. And so I don't know, like, have I done exactly what I wanted to do? Do you think, like, I would always think, like, would younger Sherry be proud of today's Sherry? Like, if young Sherry met today's Sherry, would she be like, yo, you're cool? It obviously doesn't help that my job isn't very like linear. There isn't a step-by-step process of like what to do next. I'm not looking for a raise. Like, no one's gonna give me a raise. I'm not gonna night pangkat. I'm not gonna get a promotion. It's like this job is so, it's just so fluid. And I think that a lot of the people that I look up to in this industry, their growth is parallel to their ability to adapt and go with the flow and evolve with everything that happens. They're also evolving with the time, and I look up to a lot of people who can do that. And so that works well for me because I love structure, but I also love creating my own structure. I don't like working a 9 to 5. I said it, I know, okay, whatever. I know it's like a privileged thing to say, but I was suffering, okay, when I tried to do 9 to 5. I tried to make everyone happy. My mom and dad really wanted me to work in a real job, in an office, with health benefits, like medical benefits, and like whatever, like EPF and stuff like that, right? I couldn't accept it. But wait, where was I going with this? When it comes to work, I don't really have an easy time gauging how far I've come and what I've done. Given I don't know if a lot of 27-year-olds have done what I've done, but I also know there are a lot of 27-year-olds who have done more than I have. So I'm just sat here like thinking, okay, is this exactly what I wanted? Would I have been happy? And I'm pretty sure that we all do this to ourselves, and we are really harsh and kind of criticize ourselves in a way that no one else would criticize us. Like, I don't know what I'm saying, but like I said, I have no idea the structure of this, but this is basically like my mindset going into my birthday. I don't really even know how to celebrate my birthday. I'm turning 27, and I don't know if like this is who I want it to be at 27 years old. I'm happy. Alhamdulillah, I have a very good life. I have a lot of things that I didn't know that I would have ever been able to have, but I always thought I would have done more. And like sitting here and being vulnerable is so embarrassing. I'm literally gonna put this on the internet, whatever, but it's true. Like, I'm 27 this year. I thought that I would have done more, especially because I think in the industry, I know I could do more. Like, I know my skill set, you know, my talent, and like the things that I want to do. I have just been cruising. I haven't really been pushing myself. And when I see people being able to do the things that I wish I was doing, a part of me, I can admit, I'm a little bit envious. I'm a bit jealous because I'm like, fuck, I want to be there too. But it takes a lot of like work and sometimes also luck. Yeah, I thought that I would have done more than this because I mean, quote unquote influencer work. I obviously want to do more than that. I think that I have more to offer. 2 years ago, I quit my job. I was working in PR and marketing for a multi-label fashion brand. I quit because I started working with this management who was pushing me to do film in Malaysia. So I went to audition semua. I was very excited to start acting, but macam it just wasn't destined. A lot of the things that I managed to get, it didn't schedule right in, whatever. A lot of things fell through basically. And I was really disheartened because a part of me was like, oh, I thought this is what I wanted to do. This is the direction I was going into, and I was really excited. I grew up as a musical theater kid, so I used to do like musical theater when I was young, and I was excited to just be like creative in different ways. Because one thing about me is I enjoy anything that has a creative process, you know, be it interior design or filmmaking or art or fashion, semua. Music, I love anything that has a process to it that's creative, and I was really excited. But when it didn't go through, I was really like bummed because I thought like, okay, I'm not good enough, or like I'm not talented enough, whatever. And every time I like evaluate myself in my career, I think like, okay, I'm still just an influencer. What am I doing with that? How can I do more than that? I especially want to do more work, obviously outside of Malaysia. I do think that in our industry, the opportunities are limited because our population is obviously significantly smaller. So you can be successful in Malaysia, but to be successful elsewhere is a whole different conversation, you know. And because I feel like my audience is a small niche, I don't really feel, okay, this is a bit like how do I say it? Something that I never wanted to acknowledge, but it's true. I don't think I'm someone that can, like, not everybody can relate to me. I think I'm a very niche audience, and comparing it to all the bigger influencers in Malaysia, they're a lot more relatable to the whole population. I think I'm relatable to like a small percentage of the population. So obviously my growth is limited to that. I can't grow past that percentage of people who are following me. And I have felt very like restricted in terms of like my growth in my career in Malaysia. So obviously like I've been kind of hard on myself, thinking like, okay, should I have not given up and just like moved abroad and tried to find opportunities outside of Malaysia instead of moving back here? And the one person I love to talk to about all these things is my boyfriend. He's a little bit older than me, and he grew up really different than I did. He's very, very independent, and he is very resilient. He went to boarding school from the age of 13 to 17, and then lepas tu he moved to Japan for 5 years on his own. So he's very, very independent, and he's not at all ever entitled to other people giving him opportunities. He's very like, if I want to make something happen, it's up to me. And so I think I was like sad about this because I was looking at someone on Instagram, and I looked at like what she was doing, and I was like, oh my god, wow, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm so like, oh my gosh, I'm so impressed, and at the same time a little bit jealous, because why can't I be doing that? And when I showed it to him, and he was like, you can't think that way. Like all of our rizikis were all written. Like you can't question riziki because that's hers. And if that's hers, you have to be happy for hers, but that doesn't mean yours isn't coming and you don't have yours. And I was like, yeah, but you know, I'm turning 27 this year. Aren't I getting too old? Everybody always says like the job that I have now is fleeting, and eventually the bubble will pop, and it's like based on like whether you're in demand. And everyone always says like the older you get, the less demand you're gonna get as well. And he was like, you can't question it that way. Like your riziki will come to you when you're ready. That there's probably a reason why that things didn't fall through, because maybe you're not able to cope with it. You're not capable at the time, and you haven't developed the mindset that you need to be able to be successful in that field or like in that work. He always speaks to me about like what's it called, like divine timing. And so he always kind of reminds me like it's not a competition. You're not in competition with anybody. Like you can't question your destiny and your riziki, and like what is written for you will happen, but you have to obviously work hard. But I can't have like that entitlement, I guess, to like make like, oh my gosh, what am I saying? I'm saying like so much, but like, oh my god, but I truly believe in divine timing, because especially what happened this year with my business, I didn't plan any of that. I didn't think any of it was gonna go the way that it did, but it did on its own, because I was so authentic with it, and I was so sincere, and I did it for fun, and I did it out of love and passion. So basically, yes, my birthday is next week, and I think I was beating myself up because career wise, I really do wish I was doing more than what I'm doing now. I think I've been very like easy on myself. I haven't pushed myself to put myself out there. I really wanted to kind of do more content on YouTube, and I think that's a good start for me to be more active on here and to do more work outside of what I'm doing right now. And so I feel like recently there's been a shift into more of like a entrepreneurial direction for me, and I never thought, swear to god, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to make a business. I didn't want to run a business because I sometimes don't like to be responsible over things. I like to be managed, and I don't want to be the one managing things. But yeah, this year I also like, so this September for me, what happened, a lot of it was identity based. I felt like there was a shift in my relationships in my life, family, friends. I started seeing myself very differently, and I just started spiraling like crazy. One thing I hate is being made to feel small. I really don't appreciate it when people make me feel small, and that's what I felt like for a while. I feel like now, because I know that's what I'm not happy with, especially with work, I want to shift that focus in 2025 to be a lot more about work. I think this year I built a really good foundation for me to be mentally stable. I've never seen myself like this before, but I'm like very comfortable being alone. I swear I've never been this way. I'm always someone who needs to be around people all the time, but I found myself self-regulating a lot, and I'm proud of myself. That's something I never thought I would be able to do on my own, and I feel like that was one of my biggest achievements. So much with work, I think that's definitely going to be my focus next year, to kind of like grow my businesses and enjoy the process and document it. I think I have a lot of fun documenting it. And also, oh my God, second to that, societal pressure. Because I'm 27, all these bitches are asking me, when are you going to get married? Are you settling down soon? And I don't get affected by that at all. One thing I'm very proud of myself is I don't feel pressured to get married. I don't feel pressured to start a family, none of that. I have like two sides of my friend groups. One friend group of mine, they're 4 years older than me. So some of them have babies, some of them are married. And then I have my other friend group that are younger than me. So some of them are just finishing uni, some of them are just, getting their first jobs, some of them just broke out of their long-term relationships, and like everybody is in their own space. I've never felt like I needed to kind of keep up with anything. And my parents, alhamdulillah, have never pressured me to get married. I think my dad enjoys the fact that all his daughters are kind of like independent and kind of have their own way of thinking, and they don't feel like my parents, macam memang, they don't pressure me. They don't really like rush me to get married or whatever. I think my parents want grandkids, but they know that I'm not in a rush and they respect it. But obviously that's become more of a conversation now at 27. I'm in a relationship, so obviously people talk about getting married, semua, and like I feel like I can't even imagine myself as a wife, let alone a mother. And I think I had a small debate with my granddad because he was telling me that it was wrong of me to say that being childless is a choice. Like, you can choose to not have kids. He was like so anti it because he's an old guy, it's hard to change their mindset. But he believes that if you have the chance, you should have kids. But I told him I am in a very selfish place. I feel like I've only recently found my footing. I've only recently been able to not just earn money, but earn money and spend on myself. If I add in a child into that mix, I won't even have money to spend on myself. I'd be spending it on the child. And I'm in that mindset where right now I want to treat me, okay? I want to work hard and lavish me first before I even think about having children, because I know when I have kids, I'll want to give everything up to them. And I don't want to give anything up yet. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain that, but I just know that I don't want to make a decision on the day of my wedding. I look at my partner and I'm like, fuck, I made the wrong choice. I don't want to do that. I want to be mentally ready, emotionally ready. And I think that it's more than just a fancy wedding. A marriage is a lot of responsibilities, a lot of accommodating, and now you're also going to have to think about another person in your life. Sekarang, in my life, I just think about me. Me. And you know what? I love it. I love my life. And that's why I think a part of me is scared to lose that side. And I think because there's so much of life to experience outside of just getting married, having a family, which is all a privilege. And one day, inshallah, that's what I want to be able to experience. But right now, that's not what I want to experience. And I feel like I'm not going to let anybody dictate that. Not to take away how in love I am with my partner. I am very much in love. I'm in easily the best relationship I've ever been in my life. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. But yeah, he's the best guy ever. He was my best friend before we dated. So our bond is really strong and we understand each other. But at the same time, because of the relationship I'm in, I have a lot of comfort in that person, and sometimes that limits my growth because I'm just too comfortable and it doesn't push me to want more. And I think that if I get married and I just know that I always have this guy to fall back on, it doesn't help me either. I want to be more than just someone's wife. I want people to know my name before I get married. And sometimes when you get married, it's so easy for you to end up just being like that person's wife. I don't know. I know it's so not counterproductive. It's so contrasting to what usually people think, because you know how many people have come up to me and say, okay, Cher, you're at the right age, you dah dapat calon, what else do you need? Just get married, you have everything, just get married, that's the right thing, that's the natural thing to do next. But I don't know if I believe in that way of life, or if that lifestyle is just gonna make me happy. I feel like I know that I need more than that, but macam I just know I want more. And I know that because macam hot topic, sorry mom, I'm bringing you into this, but my mom was 24 when she got married. At the same time, she's always very honest with me and says that one of her biggest regrets was that she stopped working when she had her kids. My mom was a lawyer and she wanted to be a judge. I think that was the direction she wanted to go in. But when she had my youngest sister, she thought like, okay, she didn't really want to miss out on our childhoods. And at the same time, my dad was doing really well at the time. So she chose to quit her job and stop working. A couple years down the line, she wanted to start working again. I don't know if she wanted to or she had to start working again. And finding opportunities was significantly harder because of the gap in her employment, her gap in working. And also, when she left her job, she was at the peak of her career. She was at a high position. She was only going to get higher and higher after that. In the direction she was in before she quit her job, she was going to end up doing exactly what she dreamed of, which was to be a judge. And because she didn't stick to that path, quit, raised her family, she regrets it. And sometimes I can see the resentment in her, like the resentment she has towards her kids because she feels like we took that away from her. I mean, obviously, like, she doesn't hate us, but I can see that she does feel like she missed out on what could have been the best years of her life because she chose to be a mother instead. And so because I see that, and my mom is so open and communicates with us and she talks to me about all these things, I am able to kind of see it and evaluate it and kind of make better decisions in my life and maybe learn from the mistakes that she made. I know that that's not the thing that I put on a pedestal. Oh my gosh, I only have like 6 minutes left of storage, so let's just wrap this up. Basically, hot girls get depressed before their birthdays, and it's normal. And you know what? I'm here with you, and I think that it's important that when we do get depressed, it just means that you are a highly reflective person. You're just sitting down and you're evaluating like where you are in your life and whether you're happy with it. And I think those questions are actually so important. And if you don't ask yourself those questions, you won't grow. I think there's nothing more disappointing than stagnancy. And like, for me, my fear is not reaching my fullest potential. That's my fear. And I think that's why I'm so hard on myself. But that's what makes an ambitious woman. That's what makes you make your dreams come true, Like, if you don't have that thirst and that drive, you're never gonna like have the stamina to push through and make it to that level. And I always see the one defining trait I see in any successful person is the audacity to put themselves out there. And having these thoughts and these moments of like reflection is what makes us want to put ourselves out there. It makes us whatever lah. I don't know, that's what I'm saying. So my birthday is next week. Please wish me happy birthday. It would really hurt my feelings if you guys don't wish me. And I do recognize that macam with all these like thoughts and overthinking that I have whenever my birthday comes around, I see how my viewpoint, my perspective of success has completely changed the older that I get. When I was younger, I thought it would be like being a bajillionaire, being famous, being an important person, blah, blah, blah. But I think that now at this age, I think it's like the luxury of time, the luxury of family, the luxury of having a happy, balanced life. That's what I crave. I don't crave to hustle. I don't crave to chase money. I crave to find peace and to have enough. And, as much as I've complained throughout this entire video, I'm so sorry. I think that in all the positive things that have happened in my life, I've only been able to achieve those things because of how grateful I am. And the power of gratitude is so freaking powerful. It's like the power of gratitude is so real. It's probably the number one thing I attribute to any success that I've had in my life, because I know that there was a version of me who didn't have any of this and I was still grateful. I was grateful like as if I already had it. And that It's manifestation, and manifestation actually does work. Yeah. Tell me if you guys go through this too. Tell me if you guys go through birthday depression. Tell me if you guys also experience that random 1 month in a year where your life goes to total shit. But at the end of the day, all that challenges and the turbulence that comes in that month forces you to like evolve and transform into the person that you are meant to be. Because oh my gosh, literally, I'm gonna put a quote up here, and this is my wallpaper right now, because like I said, I'm a big girl on gratitude. I'm big on gratitude. It's this. Ibn al-Qayyim also said, there is no joy for the one who does not bear sadness. There is no sweetness for the one who does not have patience. There is no delight for the one who does not suffer. And there is no relaxation for the one who does not endure fatigue. And I think that's an important, see, that's literally my wallpaper, because it's such a good reminder that in all those experiences where you feel lost, where you feel low, you needed to experience that to know happiness, to know when you're at the top, and to know when you're experiencing good things. Because if you don't experience bad things, you won't know what you have is good. So everything is meant to happen exactly as it is. And I thank you guys for watching this entire video. I hope I made sense. I don't know if this is gonna go up because I think I talked a lot of nonsense. But thank you so much for watching. Happy birthday to me, and I love you guys. Bye.